Entertainment Network, but as we go around the grounds, and our next guest suggested that we might be able to break the news if Trump is to win, so we could be the Sports Election Network today.
Definitely, because our man, BC, you'll just hear his dulcet tones in a second, you're all over this, BC. You understand what's going on over in this mad country.
Oh, look, it's an amazing video game. You know, the American election, trying to understand that system. First of all, what's different in Australia, you don't have to vote.
No.
It's not a popularity vote. You can win by millions and still lose because you've got to get the most states up in line, which comes down to all the little colonies inside the states. And the whole system's kind of, the postal votes and everything, is so fraught. It's so confusing. We're very lucky in Australia that you have to do it. And, whoever gets the most wins, you know what I mean? But this is bananas, and it looks like Don is good. It looks like Don's going to take it, which is the first non-consecutive double term.
Oh, this is a good stat.
Since
Hang on, play the crap stat.
Yeah,
play the crap stat.
Get ready, Australia. The first non-consecutive second term since 1890s.
Wow.
I think it was a Cosgrove. A
You're
guy
right.
with the name by...
You were right.
Was it right?
It was a guy that sounded a bit like Regan Campbell-Gillard. He's got a name like that. It might have actually been him.
Hyphenated.
But, hyphenated Cosgrove Gillard or something. We'll get that from the computers soon.
Grover Cleveland.
There you go. Campbell-Gillard.
Didn't we
Very
have...
similar. He had a big mo.
Who did we have? Didn't we have the same situation? There was a double term non-consecutive as well.
Kevin 07 came back in, didn't he?
Was he a double
Or was it
non-consecutive
Julia?
as well?
No, it was Kevin.
It might have been Campbell-Gillard. It was Julia Campbell-Gillard. Anyway, actually, let's just go back to being the Sports Entertainment Network.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, well, let's go to the entertainment piece then, shall we? We are here with author, actor, best known for Captain Mick Scoresby in Avatar, Harrog in the Game of Thrones, and Peter Lum, of course, in the ABC drama Plum. Brendan Cowell is the man we're talking to. He is part of the run home with Joel and Fletch for the last hour of this program. But here's the Plum trailer, folks, if you haven't yet caught it.
1-2, hook right in.
Shaggy! He needs to finish school.
Says who? Just like me, the kid's going to play football. I want you to win, damn it. Okay.
Peter doesn't know how to lose. That's the problem. We are one big bloody family.
Come on! Never take a backward step.
See you, Plum.
There it is. Football hero Peter the Plum Lum, living the dream until he's diagnosed with a brain disorder. His ex-wife implores him to talk to his girlfriend and son, but he can't find the words until a couple of dead poets appear. Sundays from 8:30 p.m. on ABC TV, with all episodes streaming on ABC iView. So whatever you've missed so far, you can catch up on ABC iView. Asher Keddy, Jenny Baird, Jermaine Clement, as well as ex-rugby league stars Joey Johns, James Graham, Mark Spud Carroll and Paul Gallen. But the biggest stars of the program feature in episode number 1.
A brand new system will be put in place where if a player has a head knock, an 18th player can be brought on if the player is deemed to be concussed.
Now, Pete, what's your take on all this 18th player head knock stuff?
Well, that's the game, isn't it? We don't want to become American football and stop for 10 minutes every time a player takes one.
Love you, Plum. And lastly, where will your mighty Sharks finish next season?
Oh, look, we're going to need a bit of strike. Barber's gone, Dugan's gone, but I think with our defence, you can't count us out.
Turn the porch light back on.
And that was Peter the Plum Lum, and wasn't he, Brian?
Okay, so there was two different samples we gave you, and that was the winning one. That was the best we could do.
That
At
was
least it made
strong.
the cut.
It's wonderful to be next to a couple of my cast members, really. This is like the cast party. We're just getting the band back together.
When do we
It's
have
really
the rap
nice.
party?
I know. Well, there was one. I don't know. You might have gone to your wrong. Are you still on Hotmail? I might have gone to the wrong email or something like that. But yeah, you guys made the cut. There was a line there where you started talking about Peter Lum's partying days. That one didn't make it. Yeah, thanks for playing along.
You.
So everyone's talking about it. Ratings, is everyone happy? You're very happy with everything?
Yeah, I tried to stay away from all that stuff, but I kind of couldn't help myself, and so I'm now on the email with all the numbers and everything, and where it's not exactly booming on the overnight Sunday night, tilting with that older audience on Sunday night, ABC iView is being smashed.
Yeah.
So people are finding it. People who didn't know what ABC iView was, or that you could go on there and get your news, or people didn't know that you're actually paying for ABC iView because the ABC comes out of our taxes.
Yeah.
So you might as well go on there.
Yeah.
You paid for it.
Well, you know the
what
thing,
I mean?
right? So I did not have an account for ABC iView, and what they do, Fletch, it'd be like a first-time user, right? So they would probably collate this data where, okay, this guy, Joel, he's a new user of ABC iView. Why? First show, Plum. So you get that sort of data as well, wouldn't you? People purely going there for that show.
Yeah, and I think that's why the ABC are quite pleased with us is that, there's the under 55s and such coming and TV nerds and people that might just have those screens on the Netflix and the Hulu who are coming in and going, what else is on this? I'm going to watch Spicks and Specs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Hard quiz is one of my favourites.
I love hard quiz.
Far out, he's good.
Go hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best.
Does he write his own jokes?
No, they've got it. They've got all these comedians in there that are
it's
the writers
very
because the
good.
writing's fantastic,
Yeah,
isn't
very
it?
good.
And I suggested to because I met the writers at the Rocky Horror Picture Show, movie show, musical, and I said to them, they said, "Do you want to come on?" And on the celebrity one, I said, "Not the celebrity one. I want to come in on the layman one in disguise."
Yeah.
Oh.
What would be your topic?
Brendan Cowell.
Oh, okay.
And then I just get heaps of it wrong because I'm like, I don't remember that. But yeah, it's going really well, man. And as you're saying, people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Something's building now in the third and fourth week. I think, friends are calling me up going, I went to a dinner party. I picked up my glasses yesterday and he goes, there's 3 people come in today. I'm getting harassed in the Coogee pool by old ladies. People are going, it's something's happened now.
Did you swim naked again? Is that why?
Swim naked.
Yeah, you can't do that in Coogee.
Got the plums out.
Yeah, you can do
And
that. Do that Tim Rimmer.
I can feel it in my plums. But have you guys, because you're in the Sports Entertainment Network, tell me, speak of anon, what kind of conversations are you guys having, great ex-players?
Around Plum or around?
Yeah, around like people watching the show,
loving it.
what it's stimulating.
Yeah.
Yep, mate, loving it. My kids, I've watched it with my family to where we're up to now and loving it. And a lot of people have been, so I posted something about you and the show and everyone's just smashing me, how good's this? And it's not just people from the area which we're from. It's not just rugby league people. So, mate, absolutely loving it. And I've also read the book. So well done. Congratulations, young man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and that's what's been really nice. Like, I was really hoping men would connect with it. I'm getting messages from wives of guys that have it and from men who are going, I've just bought a little book. I've put it next to my bed. I'm going to start writing stuff down before I go to bed. And, and a lot of guys going, I've got to find another way to communicate now. And people saying you've given, some men a different notion of how we can deal with situations, not just head knocks and stuff, but all life's hurdles.
Well, why did this topic grab you, by the way? I know you've played league coming through, and you don't need to be a first grader to deal with concussions and the effects of that, or even other mental illness for that matter. But why did this topic grab you?
I just want to say thanks to Andrew for saying loving the plum and getting off at Redfern is a regular household term.
That's right.
Thank you.
Charmaine.
Charmaine.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was actually my grandmother taught me that. She said, we didn't have French letters in your days. We had to get off at Redfern. And I said, how'd that go? She goes, well, I got 7 kids. So, that was my great, very Christian grandmother that coined that one.
Well, just on that.
What's in crow's nest? But
just on the 7 kids, I need to share this. So I was lucky to be on the cruise on the weekend on this Melbourne Cup cruise, and Jimmy Pumper Cassidy was on the cruise with us, and he starts his speech by saying, I'm Jimmy Cassidy, nicknamed the Pumper, one of 7 kids. He said maybe that should have been Dad's name.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going through a time, I've said it all over the press, and it's probably the last time I really want to talk about it now is, 5 years ago, wrapping up the piss and everything, which is around the time I wrote it. And it was so hard. And I was renowned for being a party boy, and I was like, how am I going to make this change? And then I was thinking about poetry, like how poetry helped me through dark times when I was young.
So it actually did
like,
for you personally?
Yeah, when I was 14 and parents getting divorced, and I was getting bullied from being the theatre kid and all that sort of thing, and being in Cronulla and knowing I was a bit of a freak, you know what I mean? Like in a place where it's like play sport or be a cop, white picket fence, have kids, shut up. I was like, I feel very strange here. I think I'm an artist. Like and so that time was dark, and I wrote a lot in this little cave in Dolan's Bay, and hundreds and hundreds of poems. And I started reading them out, and people were like, that's amazing. And so I thought, who's the last guy to be rescued by a poem? And I was thinking about the brain, like how words have been researched to be able to heal the brain, reading Shakespeare to kids, reading lyrics and of songs and the floral language. And I thought, what about a big tough guy, a boxer? And then I went, well, rugby league's my favourite thing in the world. What about I can write about that? I know rugby league. And so then I thought about the plum, the fleshy fruits of life with a tough stone in the middle, and then it was Plum, Peter, Lum. And it just kind of came about, and I went, they're going to get this big Paul Gallen-y, Gavin Miller guy, and he's going to write a poem.
Wow.
And I went, that's my story. And then I had to work out why, and that's when the brain injury stuff was coming into the media again, 1920. I went, oh, maybe he's dealing with a bit of that. So it all came bit by bit, but it was really came from me trying to change who I was, biggest pisshead in Newtown, into like a different guy. I just wanted to live a different way, and it's really hard to make a big change like that. So I kind of had that in common with Peter Lum. I was like, come on, mate, we can do it.
Yeah.
Was there an incident, BC, while you were on the piss that just you decided, right, that's enough? Did you have a blackout or?
Oh, yeah. I was just an arm wrestle all the time. And I mean, there was many incidents, you know what I mean? Like, not incidents, but there was many things that I'd look back the night before and go, oh, God, I was the story of the wedding.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Or I was always that guy that they go, geez, you see him, he was...
Right.
I was never like a bad guy. I just had no off switch.
Yeah.
I couldn't get home.
But were you drinking every day?
No.
Wasn't it? It was just
I'd
a
never
binge.
be the day thing, just once I got started.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't a vodka in the cornflakes kind of guy, you know what I mean?
It's actually gin, but...
Yeah, is it? That's the neutral grain. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, not that. It's just like if I went, I was on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was 18 hours and I had the time of my life. But it was also, I was just 42 going, come on, do something else. Like, I've been partying for 26 years. I just want to do something else. So it was kind of imbuing in that. And also idea of sport and art. You know, being an actor and being an athlete, I thought they've got a lot in common. You give your whole life to them.
Yeah.
Some days everyone's praising you.
Yep.
And the next day everyone hates you. The media love you. The media spit you out. And there's a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know when my next acting job is. With footy, you don't know how long it's going to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so why do you think...
and that can bring you into bad behaviours.
Why do you think, Brennan, that people in your industry, that of the arts, a lot of young rugby league players we see fall into these traps? Why do you think? Is it a different mentality? Is it just their life's changed completely, their self-sabotage? What do you think it is?
Oh, look, I think, firstly, no one out there has the slightest clue what it's like to be a bit famous. Like, it's so different. You know what I mean? Also, these guys are so young. You know what I mean? Once you start playing footy, you have your foods and your uniforms and stuff like that. You haven't been taught all the stuff, and all of a sudden you've got a shitload of money. You're in the press, people are watching you. You haven't had that bit of development where you can make your mistakes quietly, where you can learn how to pay your gas and go to and respect people and all that stuff. Suddenly, you've gone from being 14 to famous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, and also you've got this body of a machine. You know what I mean? And if you look at the sport, it's gladiatorial. Like, we're asking you guys, go out there, run at that Pacific Islander, run at that guy, break him in half. Do that for 80 minutes, smash him, win. Then, if you wouldn't mind, just have a little chamomile tea and calm down. But afterwards, you're like, what?
Yeah.
We created them. We created this. We're asking them to be warriors and then asking them to be kind of chess-playing chamomile tea
Are they
guys
role
afterwards.
models?
Well, you know, it's a great debate, isn't it, with sport and art. I think if they choose to be role models, if they put their hand up and they go, I'm a podcast, I'm a mental health, I'm taking the money, I'm a brand, I'm going to put myself out there. Other than that, I don't think they have to be.
No, I don't think so. I've said this before,
Unless you take the role.
If my kids muck up along the line, which they will, which we have, it's my bloody fault and my wife's fault, and mainly the kids' fault for why it's happened, right? It's not the fault of the actor, the rugby league player. I don't believe they are, unless you say they're going out of their way to be a role model. I don't believe it's,
Well, I'd be more worried if the kid doesn't stuff up. I'd be more worried if a teenager or a young guy didn't stuff up. More like I'm worried about couples that never fight. I'm like, what's their problem?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're two different people. You're going through life, and it's going to happen. Then you have to learn from it. The problem with today is we judge people so much, and we cut them off. Yes, no, cancel, out, and it's like there's no redemption story, which is Peter Lum.
Yep.
Peter Lum stuffs up, learns, stuffs up again, learns, really stuffs up, then learns. Is it too late?
Yep.
you be the judge. But like, if we don't have redemption, how do human beings exist? Because we're flawed. We are fundamentally flawed creatures.
Who's your favourite character in the program not named Peter Lum?
Are there others?
Yeah.
I met Brendan at the Roosters versus Manly game. He sat next to me. What a lovely bloke. Jeff from Glenhaven. Good on you, Jeff. I remember you, mate. I look, it was it was like, I love Titania because she's like the guardian angel, this young trans girl that runs the bar who kind of just accepts him. And I love her relationship with Squeaky. And I love Sylvia Plath. They're kind of my favourite scenes that I have with her. But I really love what my mate Jermaine Clement did with Oliver. I just think he's so funny.
Yeah.
And that alpha male, beta male kind of little, kind of tension that they have. So I think Oliver's, when we cast Jermaine, because it was so hard to get him, we really wrote the whole character up.
Yes.
And he improvises a lot as well.
Wow.
Like the scene in the bathroom just ended, but he goes, "So how's the plumbing? How's the pipes when we get to our age? Like, how's it going?" And I'm like, "I flushed." And then I start walking out. And
When
I'm
you're
like,
stuck upstairs.
he's still going, this bloke. And I'm walking out. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, drink water, right?" Like,
Yeah.
and he improvised the line.
But this is the new husband.
Yeah.
He's like, "Plum, when I'm having sex with Renee, I think of you." Not in a sexual way. It's just you were her previous lover and you're an athlete and sometimes she wants to do a move and all that. When I'm standing there going, I'm going through the trauma with the press and the media and all the thoughts going, do not laugh. That would be inappropriate. I just hold my face like, I can't. Because he's such a kind of quiet, nerdy guy. The camera turns on. And he's just a comic genius. He just starts, and he's just alive. So working with him was fantastic.
So you had you had Joey, you had Spud, and Jimmy Graham. How open were they talking about, I suppose, their struggles?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the reasons why I cast those guys was because they've put their hand up.
Yeah.
Even if they have all different viewpoints, and the show doesn't really have a viewpoint because it kind of talks about how Plum kind of is a mad party animal and he's fallen out of rickshaws in Thailand and he's been in fights in pubs and stuff. So, and who knows if he even has it. Like, it's all like up to the audience to pick apart what he's got. It's not an anti-NRL CTE warning show at all. It's more grey than that.
Right. Did you speak to any doctors?
But what was great about... Yeah, I did. I mean, I had a neuroscientist on the book.
Okay. And
Dr. Adrian Cohen from the Brain Bank on the show. Right. So he scanned everything and he gives you heaps of research and, he's a better, you can't imagine, so the research is a great writer.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And he was amazing. And there's a great book called Concussed that I read that has the history of it and how the media shut it down in all countries. And it's pretty amazing.
Lads, sorry, we've got a break and lots of texts coming through. If you want to have your say, 1300 01 1170. Brendan's staying with us for this whole hour up until 6 o'clock. So feel free to have your say, 1300 01 1170 or text 0457 736 736. The run home with Joel and Fletch, thanks to the Tucson Hybrid by Hyundai, stylish and powerful. Half hour of the program, the run home with Joel and Fletch, thanks to the Tucson Hybrid by Hyundai, stylish and powerful. Brendan Cowell in the seat with us, taking you through to 6 o'clock. Brian Fletcher here as well. And just repeating the Wacky Team Wednesday, of course, the Melbourne Cup yesterday. So Brian has made it a racing theme. Now, gentlemen, I've got a nominee here who not only ticks the box, but it's a birthday. Sally Field.
Oh, Gidget.
Sally Field.
The Flying Nun.
The Flying Nun. So, Flying Nun Sally Field, whose birthday today. How old's Sally Field?
Oh, geez, I'm going to say
71.
93.
You've somewhere in between you. 78.
78.
78 Sally Field.
Was it Not Without My Daughter? Do you remember that?
No.
Where she goes looking for a daughter in a Muslim country.
No,
and
I've not seen that.
Yeah, very powerful.
What's your favourite movie?
Oh, my favourite movie... Plum's playing on iView this Saturday. I love the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
I reckon I've seen that 500 times, the Blues Brothers.
Porkies? I didn't mind
Yeah, those are Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
We got Bush.
We got Bush.
Who was... actually,
I used to love Booger. I used to love Booger.
Revenge of the Nerds. I heard on, what did I hear that on? I was listening to a podcast only last week.
It's the only show you could say that on, probably. Maybe you can't even say that on this show.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Oh, Sugar Barbara.
What's your favourite?
No, well, I was just going to say about Revenge of the Nerds. So, in Revenge of the Nerds, on set, behind the scenes, the nerds were the cool ones, and all those people who weren't the nerds were treated like scum. In Revenge of the Nerds. So that's how that's played out.
Right.
Tony Soprano
Very good.
Oh, we're going back to
and Mr. Ed Norton.
Oh,
yeah.
What do you think?
Mr. Ed Norton.
Mr. Ed Harris.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Ed
Tony
Norton.
Collette. We've got here Joey Chestnut.
You're getting into it now. Mr. Ed
Sylvester Stallion. We've got in here from a guy.
Don't mind that.
Bob Gelding of. That's very good. Phil, no, I won't read that one out, but I appreciate that.
Now, let's talk about the Mighty Sharks. There's rumours abound.
Yeah.
Rumours abound.
I'm making it. Plum's making a
No,
comeback.
well, yes, but William Kennedy, your fullback, who I think is a terrific
fullback.
player. A little bit of mail going around that the Sharks are looking at one Ryan Papenhuyzen.
I know. I read that today.
So, thoughts? Are we getting rid of Kennedy for a Papenhuyzen? Are we assassinating Kennedy?
Oh.
Thank you. Good night, Australia. Try the schnitzel. I'm here every Thursday.
We really are the Sports Election Network, aren't
Yeah,
we?
we are.
We're just going big on the States here. Ryan Papenhuyzen, he's one of those guys like Tommy and Galvin who's going to be injured a lot because he's got the body of a basketball player, but he's an excellent rugby league player.
Correct.
They just keep getting injured, those blokes, don't they? It's
Yes,
like
they
wrong
do.
sport, Ryan.
Yeah.
Wrong sport.
What would
Tom.
you do if you could choose? Because Bubba's been enormous. He was terrific
Enormous.
this year. He was the Player of the Year last year.
All right.
The Monty Porter
All right,
medalist.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Will Kennedy is fantastic, but he doesn't chime into the backline and do a pass. The things that Billy Slater all brought to the game. He isn't that extra thing that a fullback is today,
Right.
where they come
tough
in
school.
and they're a second fiver or a
Tough
swinging
school.
round centre. He's incredible, but I think fullbacks have to have more arsenal today. They actually are your threat.
So you would take Papenhuyzen.
Well, the confusing thing to me is that there's Cade Dykes. He keeps doing his knee, but I thought he's got some zip,
He
that
does.
boy. And I know that they were trying to bring him through, but maybe he's injured. And I was always thinking, what about young Nico Hines to one, and then you've got Atkinson and Trindle in the halves and have Nico sweeping around.
So you're a keeper of Atkinson. I would be.
No, I wouldn't.
You
have
can't play him 14.
No, you can't.
I
He
wouldn't have
plays 10
taken
minutes.
Atkinson out of the number 7.
No.
If it ain't broke, why fix it? I would have kept that and found a way for Nico to chime in slowly.
Well,
into
that
the
was
team.
my
we
gut.
were winning.
They wouldn't have been
We
top
beat
4.
Melbourne and Roosters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
That's
we
not
lost.
hard.
We
Penrith
lost
did as well.
But then we lost to the Warriors. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
so Papenhuyzen, it's a tick. So Melbourne have offered him $750. I would expect they've bumped it up to say $850.
That's
$900.
hard for him to walk away from $750. But then you've got the issue
But
around
they've got that
Sir
bloke
Falongo.
come on, that
Yeah.
Falongo guy's coming in. Look, I like it a lot because we need a little bit of flair. We need a bit of what we lacked this year was a guy that's going to scare the opposition. We've got that now in AFB.
Yep.
Welcome AFB. I'm going out to see him play for Tonga because as far I'm into Tonga now because AFB.
Okay, who will you be going for in that game? Because we do see sometimes people want to go for Tonga, for example, despite the fact they're Australian. There will be a portion.
Schwarzenegger, very good.
Mm.
Jordan Silks, very good. Yes.
Will you be going for Australia?
Oh, look, I'm torn because I just love, ever since I saw Andrew Fafita go, let's get around it, and what this red jumper's done. I don't know if you I started crying when they were singing those hymns last week.
It's great.
I was like, I wish rugby league had more of this. And you look at the Australian anthem and you're like, you see the New Zealand anthem, they're crying.
Yeah.
Those hymns that came in and
I mean,
the belief they have.
K-San's a great national anthem. I love it.
No, but something like that, like something that we could all do together. I could write a song about, things that Australians love to do. We bet and we drink and we fart and, they could all sing that
We could
together.
all sing that.
You know what I mean? We love it.
We do love
it.
it.
But look, I'm an AFB man now.
Yeah.
I'm an AFB man.
Yeah.
Go Tonga.
Brayley's flying.
But we need a guy who's going to scare the opposition. Don't have him. We'd have him now.
Yes.
Right? And we had to get rid of Royce Hunt and Jack Williams to keep him. We've got AFB. But what we don't have is those Reece Walshy game-breaking guys that you go, just do something. When we won the comp, we had Ben Barber.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you just knew when Barber got the ball, something was going to happen. Jack Bird was a bit the same. You know what I mean? And Qatar, like, so now I think if we can get a Papenhuyzen and AFB, suddenly we've got them covered. Work out what to do with the 7 and 6. That's the elephant.
Well, they've re-signed both of them, really. Like Nico was extended
last year.
Who's playing
where? Who's doing what?
I think Nico's fullback days are well behind him.
I think both speed and endurance. Well, his endurance is pretty good, but I just think speed and just bringing the ball back, that's not his go, is it?
I'll be so. Geez, you're tough. I think Bubba Kennedy's got more. I think he's got more upside.
So what's your play then?
Oh, he's unreal, but I don't think he does that other bit. That Tedesco's, that Turbos, that those guys that chime in, those fullbacks that chime in. Have you seen him kick through a gap?
I would keep Bubba.
Those fullbacks that come in and then they kick through and
what about
they're doing extra stuff.
Where are you at with the cap? Like Terrell May leaving the Roosters?
Well, to get
Wouldn't he be
Papenhuyzen,
handy?
I'm actually putting in all my money from Plum. I'm the guy that's giving them the extra.
Oh, third
I didn't
party.
want to announce it. I'm the third
Third
party.
party.
I'm doing it after pay over 35 years. But, it's all happening.
After pay.
How much you kicking in?
What's that?
How much you kicking in?
Oh, the extra 200.
Yeah,
that's all
that's
on
right.
Plum.
Yeah.
That's all on Plum.
After pay.
It's everything I earn.
Yeah.
It's my mortgage. It's after pay.
That's great.
Does Plummy know he's doing this? Is he aware?
Yeah, I've got to go down to the Sharks and tap the card tomorrow with Dino. But
Charmaine, no?
Charmaine.
Renee?
Well, don't tell her.
No.
Don't tell Charmaine.
Wow. Just on the Roosters, boys. So Terrell May's going. This is just a sidetrack for the
milk
Sharks.
in me peppermint tea, by the way. What a
good
disaster.
boy. Good boy. What have you done there?
Oh, no, mate. Oh, crucial mistake.
So I'll get your advice of this too, Brian. So Terrell May leaves. We don't yet know where.
No.
And we don't yet know why.
Mm.
I'm saying it's Ben Hunt.
To the Chooks.
Yeah. Doesn't that add up?
It does add up. I was thinking the other day, I thought they might play him 6, the Chad at 7. And
But even for later in the year,
when Sammy Walker comes back.
he can play 9.
Correct. That's what I think they'll do.
Yeah.
It smells of a Cooper Cronk-ism.
Yes.
Remember how Cooper Cronk, he's leaving Melbourne. Where's he going? We hear that he's going to retire. No one spoke about the Chooks. Every other club,
No.
If you've got Hunt and Chad in your halves at the Roosters, suddenly it looks like an old boys. Like it just looks like one of those kind of charity fixtures or something.
No, he's still playing for Australia.
It's not pretty football.
No,
I mean, they're effort players. That ain't pretty.
Yeah.
That ain't pretty
This
at
is
all.
the Shire versus the East, isn't it?
Oh,
This is
mate. You
what
might
is
as well
it?
have Peter Lum in the halves. Like, that is going to be ugly.
Oh,
That is
really?
ugly. Chad Hunt as your combo. I mean, if you were playing FIFA NRL, you wouldn't choose that, would you?
But what about the podcast we're going to get with the Chad? Have you seen his podcasts?
Oh, I can't wait.
Very good.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Very
What a great head of hair.
Beautiful hair.
Hey,
Beautiful hair.
BC, what next? Obviously, you've got Avatar number 3 coming up.
Yeah, Avatar number 3 comes out next year, and
Is that all done and dusted?
That's all done and dusted. I'm announcing a couple of things next week. There's a live show. I'm getting back on stage. So in January, if you want to come and have a look, I'll be doing something live. I'll come back in and
What,
talk to
Plum
you guys.
related or?
No, totally whole new thing.
I know what it
doing,
is.
Right?
You're doing the wristwatch, aren't you? The wristwatch. Puppetry the penis.
But yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Going to do a couple of burritos, a Harbour Bridge, and
What will it be? What are you going to be talking about? Your life or
no, a play, a show.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I'll do a
okay.
show. So we're announcing it next week. I was just
What,
looking
your
at the-
show? A show that you've made or no?
I'm writing it with a couple of mates. It's got a theme. It's going to be completely bonkers. It's only half written.
A.
It's an
Ryan
absolute-
involved?
What's that?
A. Ryan?
No, A.
No.
Ryan's not involved.
No.
And I've written another thing, but I'll announce it all next week. But I'd love to make more Plum. I'd love to make another TV show, but the industry's having a real tough time at the moment.
Right.
Funding-wise?
Everything's kind of gone to sleep this
Okay.
whole year. So it's the mantra is survive to 25. So hoping next year. So I was very lucky to make Plum. I don't really know how I got it out there. And the fact that, and thank you to all the listeners who are texting in and everyone that's watched it and got behind it. And I'm so grateful the fact that we slipped through the gaps and managed to make a show in what's a really despairing time. Because if you think in the pandemic, everyone was watching everything.
Yeah.
So everyone, I've got Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, Binge, Foxtel. Cost of living crisis, come out of the pandemic, we want to go on holidays, go to Maldives with Brian. You know what I mean? We haven't got ballet lessons. We want to go out and about. we don't want all the 7 streaming. We don't want all this. And they'd overcommitted. So now there's been this big tightening of the belt in film and TV because it's like everyone's going, no. And so suddenly and people aren't watching the big shows. They're watching the baby reindeers and the Plums and Colin from Accounts are popping. And so it's very confusing. And so the whole industry is just having a bit of a belt tightening freak out. So there's not a lot around. I'm lucky because I generate my own stuff and that I can come in with you. Are you paying me today?
Of course. Go see The Tourist.
Go see The Tourist. Is it like, what do you get, bananas?
What we should do is take all the funding that went to The Office, the Australian version, and give it to you.
Yeah.
Have you seen that diabolical show?
I have not, no.
If I could swear on air, I would.
Really?
So the great Matthew John said, watch this show. Tell me, is it as bad as I think?
What's it on, Brian?
Amazon.
Dog shit.
Amazon.
But it's actually been the highest rating show
The Office Australia?
of Australia.
What?
Australian show on Amazon.
Okay. It might have been one episode or like 15 minutes of the first episode. Because it's so unfunny.
Yeah, you got to be funny, don't you?
Like, it's just terrible.
Yeah, look, I'm going to reserve judgment. I like the guys that made it, and I haven't seen it, so I'm not just going to shit on it.
I will.
Who
are they?
I'm not.
I'll shit on them.
I'm not the internet,
No.
so I won't just jump on a negative for the sake of it. But good
Pile
on
on. I want
them.
you to pile
make some of it.
No, it's
But
a
once
pile
I
on.
watched it, I'm going to get some Twitter going.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to have a few drinks, and I'm going to get negative.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Just on the movies.
By the way, Plum was 49. He was 49-year-old ex-player, David. Turning 50. Loved Plum. So relevant in today's game. Thanks, Noosa Bronco. Appreciate it. And,
movies themselves at the cinemas. That appears to me to be under siege. Is it for the same reason?
Yeah. And, it's easier to get one of those big blockbusters going than it is your little mate.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to go to the cinema on a Friday night to watch a little $1 million movie.
No.
You know what I mean? So you kind of go out for a couple of weeks release and then you're onto a streamer, really, so you can win awards if you have a cinematic release. But yeah, like the Avatars and those big kind of Hemsworth ones, they're fine. And it's kind of easier as an actor to get into one of them than it is to get in a little movie because you actually need bigger stars to get $2 million today. So it's harder to make a little film. I love film. They're so beautiful, such beautiful experiences, and people love them, seeing them on the streamers. Like Reuben Guthrie, my film from 2010, or was it? Or something. That's back on Netflix, and people are loving it. So, we need to be making more films, but cinema has, really struggled.
I'm looking forward to the live show. I know you're going to make an announcement next week.
Yeah. We'll do a call.
Where would it be shown? Like when you say theatre, we're talking like Capitol Theatre?
I'll tell you, we'll do a guessing game. So trains.
Yeah.
Trains.
What do you get in the train? What do you sit in?
Carriage.
Oh,
Carriage works. Yes.
Everly.
Carriage works.
Yes. A week from now.
Okay.
We will. And I'll get you guys a couple of tickets.
Yeah, my oath.
Is it going to be like a pantomime when we yell out and we go, he's behind
Look
you?
behind you, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the round. It's going to be very intense, and I'm going to be naked for the whole 2 hours.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's me basically doing the Paul Gallen story through contemporary dance. No, it's not. It's not at all.
Who's your favourite shark of all time? And you only have one.
Well, Gavin Miller made me want to play when I saw him at 5 or 6. I was like, whoa, and then I want to play.
Yeah.
But I reckon of all time,
Please say Paul Doolan.
Ben Pomeroy. Remember Ben Pomeroy used to get the ball in the open and just drop it.
Yeah, Matty calls him the Pharaoh of fumbles.
Oh, my God. We'd be like, we're on here, we made a break, here we go. And then we go, oh, no. And then he every 4 out of 5 times. I think he was good mates with Cowell, wasn't he? And you always knew in trouble with Pomeroy. But he was very good at the back slam.
Oh, we love the back slam.
He loved the back slam, didn't he?
He did.
Favourite?
Oh,
you only pick one. You can only pick one.
My favourite player in the league at the time was Luke Lewis, and I was drunk in a bar once, and I said, "Why don't you come to the Sharks? I love you." And a few years later, I was on a Virgin flight to Melbourne, and he was going down for one of his businesses, and he comes down and he goes, "Hey, Brendan Cowell." And I went, "Yes, Luke." And he goes, I'm coming to the Sharks.
Oh, yeah.
And I got up and hugged the man,
Yeah.
and we slowly made love on this virgin flight. His wife was fine; she's lovely, and so Luke Lewis, and then he won the man of the match in the
Clive
great grand
Churchill.
final. Though possibly Andrew Fafita should have won that, because right when I was watching it in London, I had a room full of Australians at like 11 in the morning. We were on the Coronas, and I was like, we need a bit. I could see they were vulnerable.
Were you drinking alcohol though?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
2016.
You're drinking alcohol as
All
well,
of
as
it.
well as Coronas.
And after the game, I went all around Notting Hill singing up Cronulla, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. and then, as Joel knows, I had a makeup test in Belfast for Game of Thrones the next day, and my mum was like, "You look terrible." I hadn't been asleep. And I got there and they went, "You look perfect. You look like you've been at sea for 200 years." But no, I think Luke Lewis. But I want to say, I just want to give some love to Wade Graham. What a shark!